right, I think we're live. Am I correct?
Yes, Counselor, you are live.
Okay, and if you could let the last person in who's in the waiting room, that'd be great. All right, so at 5 o'clock, I will call to order the first meeting of the year of the Finance Committee. Just to let everybody know, we have 3 official members on the Finance Committee here this evening, and we have 2 counselors who will be approved for as committee members at the governing body meeting on Wednesday, but they are here tonight so that they don't miss anything. So really appreciate your time, counselors, and look forward to working with you. If we could get a roll call, Director Oster, that would be terrific.
Certainly, Madam Chair. Happy to. Counselor Cassett.
Here.
Counselor Lindell.
I'm here.
Chair Romero-Worth.
I am here. And then
Madam Chair, you have a quorum.
terrific. And we also have Counselor Pilar Faulkner and Counselor Lee Garcia, who will be joining the committee officially after Wednesday's governing body meeting. So welcome to them. All right, with that, we will move to approval of the agenda. I do believe we have a change tonight to the agenda, and I'll go to you, Director Oster.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, we would like to postpone the staff recognition and introductions to the next meeting so that we're able to do that in person. So we were requesting to postpone that presentation to the January 29th meeting.
Terrific. Can I get a motion on the agenda then as amended?
Move to approve as amended.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. If you could take a roll call, please, Director Oster.
Certainly, Madam Chair. Counselor Cassett.
Yes.
Counselor Lindell.
Yes.
Chair Romero-Worth.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Now we move to approval of the consent agenda. I believe there was one item pulled tonight.
Correct, Madam Chair. There was one item pulled and it was item J. And
Let's see, that is the contract for the golf course. Request for approval of a professional services agreement between Indigo Sports LLC for operating services at Marty Sanchez Links de Santa Fe. Can I get a motion on the consent agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as amended. Again, a roll call, please, Director Oster.
certainly, Madam Chair. Counselor Cassett.
Yes.
Counselor Lindell.
Yes.
Chair Romero-Worth.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, so we do have one presentation. We pulled, again, the recognition of staff off the agenda for tonight. We'll be doing that at our next meeting. But we do have an audit update and overview from Director Oster, so we'll go to that now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this point, we are waiting for the State Auditor's Office to get back to us on their review of the FY22 audit that we submitted on December 7th. So we hope to hear back from them on that audit soon. We continue to work diligently on completing the FY23 audit. We're working with Clifton Larson Allen, which is our consultant, CLA, and Carr Riggs Ingram, which is our external auditor, on that FY23 audit. And that is my update for this evening. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great. Any questions from the committee? All right, we will then move on to the item that was pulled off of consent. Again, that was item J. Request for approval of a professional services agreement between Indigo Sport LLC for operating services at the Marty Sanchez Links de Santa Fe Golf Course for a total amount not to exceed $43,515 through January 31st, 2028. And this is a request for approval of a budget adjustment resolution in the amount of $1,602,000 from lodgers tax revenues balance to fund the professional services agreement with Indigo Sports LLC to operate the Marty Sanchez Links de Santa Fe Golf Course through June 30th, 2024. And we do have both Director Wheeler, Public Works Director, and Melissa McDonald, our Parks and Open Space Director, here tonight, as well as Randy Randall, who is our Tourism Director. And I pulled this item because I just wanted to hear a little bit. The memo speaks to this, and I thought it would be important to have our three staff experts talk a little bit about what I think is an exciting opportunity, right? With this kind of renowned company that is willing to come in and manage our golf course. And I think it really will help us. And I see we have John Weiss, who's just joined us, who's the golf course manager. But again, this is an exciting opportunity for us to really kind of up our game and professionalize and make this golf course kind of take it to the next level. But in doing that, I just would love to have you all speak to how we will make sure that we continue to serve this community, the local members of the community, and that we don't, forget about the folks who play this game year round and really support our work there. So I don't know which one of you would like to talk about that, but and I know, again, the memo talks about all the things that Troon will be doing for locals and how we'll kind of maintain control. But if you could just kind of speak to that, it would be helpful.
Councilor Romero Worth, I appreciate the thoughtful question. Wanted to address that for you. I would say that, can you hear me okay, first of all? Okay, great. That was a definite priority as we came into this discussion and contract negotiation. The items that we added to the contract were in an express attempt to make locals the priority. And we brought in this best-in-class organization, this world-renowned organization, because we want to take care of our locals and nothing else. And so I think what you see in the contract is that we have asked them, or we have mandated that they, the operator, make sure that we have at least 10 locally run fundraising opportunities for the local organizations. And then also we have included programs such as the Little Linksters and prioritized locals in every way that we could think of in this contract to make sure that our goal, which is taking care of the locals, is implemented by the new operator. Let me add to that, in terms of budgeting, in terms of who's in control of rates, that was also added into the contract. The city is in control of all rate structures. The city is in control of the budget, and the city remains in control of capital projects and all that entails. So this organization will simply be making recommendations based on their national and international experience, but they will not be making those decisions. The city will continue to make those decisions.
And as I understand it, the governing body will still be in control of the greens fees and the cart fees and the operational and capital budgets for the golf course. And I believe I spoke to Director McDonald about this. I don't know, it's been a week or two, I think. But I don't know if you want to speak to that at all, just.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone.
And just to reiterate that, just as for the last 25 years, the city has controlled all green fees, all cart fees. The city will continue to control that. each one of those rates and prioritize locals in doing so.
Great. And then the workers who are at the golf course now, can you speak to a little bit how the current workforce that's there will change or not change? Or I think, again, your memo addresses this, but I think it's helpful for the public to understand.
Yeah, thank you. And that is another priority that we wanted to maintain consistency and maintain all positions that were funded out of the golf course and out of the MRC. The people that were in those positions will maintain equivalent positions or better positions moving forward.
Okay, and then one thing I just also want to comment on, and I'm trying to find it, I believe it's in the contract itself. There was a nod to water conservation efforts. And maybe one of you is more familiar with this contract. I was reading it this afternoon. Happy to see that. Oh, here it is. Under program development, develop best practices toward water conservation that recognize the value of water in our region. And again, I think another example of the thoughtfulness that has gone into this contract to make sure that what's going on here fits with the values of this community. And I don't know if any of you have anything to add there, but I just want to say I was happy to see that provision.
Thank you, Chairperson Romero Worth. Yes, that has been an ongoing priority over the last 2 years and prior to my coming to the golf course. Turf reduction is a great opportunity that remains at the golf course. And we look forward, we've already spoken with the operator to give us recommendations in that direction. And so I think we'll continue moving to better water conservation and best practices as they've been operating in the southwestern United States. They very well understand the value of water in this part of the country, and they operate just down the road from Marty Sanchez Links de Santa Fe there at Sandia Golf Club. And so those efficiencies, those partnerships are going to help us be efficient on many levels, but certainly water conservation will be one of the priorities that we will continue to maintain.
Terrific. And then as I was looking at that section, it also says, develop a specific program which will increase and maintain a loyal local client base. So again, just reiterating the importance that you all have, incorporated in this new chapter of continuing to recognize the community. Just one other thing. I think it would be great, since we have Director Randall with us, another provision here talks about developing a program to create promotion with the Convention and Visitors Bureau to increase out-of-town visitor client base. And we, of course, are, as the caption suggested, using lodger's tax to help fund this. And so just if you could just speak, Director Randall, to the importance of that and how that will help us as we kind of take this golf course to the next level.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, Santa Fe has not been known as a place where golf has much importance. And I liken this a lot to our ski area for us in the wintertime, whereas we're not really a ski destination, but we're a destination that has great skiing available. And that's what I see this becoming as far as golf is concerned. The fact that the city is in control of the golf, it's a terrific course. And once the operational aspects of the clubhouse and the amenities move up to the quality of the course itself that Troon is going to be able to do, I think it's going to be something that we can promote through our hotels with packages. but also we'll put a greater importance on golf so that we will be a community that has really good golf available to its visitors. We're not trying to compete with Pinehurst, but we're just trying to be competitive in the golf market.
My understanding is Troon is so respected and known worldwide that people actually seek out these courses when they're looking for golf destinations.
Madam Chair, that's my understanding as well. The other thing, the relationship with Troon will give benefits to residents of Santa Fe who play at the Marty Sanchez course when they travel, because they will earn credits that allow them, when they travel, to get a better deal on golf when they're out of town, and they earn that by playing the course here in Santa Fe. So it's an added benefit to our residents that is a lot like what club membership would give without the cost of club membership.
That's very interesting. Thank you for that. And then just, again, for the public, I believe this RFP and this contract, we had sought out one company, one partnership to do everything. So it's to run the concessions and the restaurant and the golf course itself. And I think it's like 3 different pieces. Am I correct in that?
Madam Chair, I can speak to that. Yes, so in the past, the city has maintained or operated the marketing and the golf course maintenance or the grounds part of the facilities. Is kind of a bifurcated structure where the operator would run the restaurant and the golf, city would run marketing and maintenance. And we feel like the added efficiencies that come with one organization operating the entire facility is going to be a real benefit to the community and to the facility itself. I think we're going to see some added efficiencies that are felt at all levels.
Okay, thank you. Those are the things I wanted to sort of highlight in this contract. I will go to the committee members and then to our special guests, Councilors Faulkner and Lee Garcia, for questions. But I see Councilor Cassett, you have your hand up.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you everybody for being here. I just had one follow-up question around the community service, where I saw that the contract says that the facility shall host at least 10 charity golf tournaments annually, and then that the contractor shall allow the city to utilize the facility without fees to host 3 events each year, such as 4Kids and the Santa Fe City Championship. We have this process in place where we sponsor utilization of the convention center. I'm curious how these charity golf tournaments are chosen. What is the requirement for who really gets this benefit? And then it says that the city is hosting 3. So again, curious how we choose those 3. I know that we have I know of at least the 4Kids golf tournament, and it sounds like the Santa Fe City Championship. I don't know if there's others that in the past have kind of rotated and been interested in receiving this benefit, but how is that going to be decided, and who's really going to be in charge of making those selections?
Councilor Cassett, thank you for that question, and reading carefully that contract and seeing the benefits in terms of the organizations that are allowed to do fundraising, and then also the city events that operate currently and will continue to be able to host their events there. The selection would continue to be as it always has been for the last quarter century, the last 25 years. There really hasn't been, it hasn't been fully utilized as a fundraising opportunity. And so all comers have been welcome to come and do fundraising as long as they have values that accord with the city values. And so opportunities like the 4Kids event, which started 25 years ago, raises funds so that the city can give scholarships to youth that want to participate in activities at the Genoveva Chavez Community Center that maybe otherwise couldn't afford it, or youth who would like to participate in the Little Linksters program that maybe couldn't necessarily afford it financially. We can offer them scholarships through this 4Kids tournament proceeds. And then the city of Santa Fe also hosts a city championship, which most medium to large size cities host kind of their own city championship. And it has gone from course to course in the past. It was held at 3 courses a couple of years ago, but Marty Sanchez Links de Santa Fe has been the host of this event the last time, the only host the last time it was offered. And I think that's the way it should be. The city course hosts the city championship, and that benefits the locals in terms of giving them opportunities to showcase their skills and abilities. And so it just makes sense for the city to host that tournament. And then the other fundraising opportunities, we simply ask the organization that wants to do fundraising to just give us a little bit of a profile of who they are and what they're raising their funds for. And once that satisfies city values, we move forward that way. We'll continue to move forward just as we have for the last 25 years. So nothing will really change there.
Okay. And this might be a more complex question than you were prepared to answer today, but who establishes city values? Because that's a pretty wide, pretty wide, I can even think of a number of issues on the governing body that we may have some disagreements about those. So how do city values, quote unquote, get established?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that's something that moving forward, we're going to need to continue to take a look at and evaluate as the community evolves and changes. Values evolve and change as well. And so if we have some gray areas that arise, we'll just have to address those as they come.
I think Director McDonald has something to add here, so let her jump in as well.
Thank you, Chairman Worth and Councilor Cassett. Most of these charity type golf tournaments are ones in which the counselors sponsor. As you know, the Marty Sanchez golf course has great popularity among the counselors. And so you are given the opportunity to sponsor city events. And this area is one that was very important to us in our negotiation to make sure that there was no conflict with that as a venue for you all to help your charities of choice. And you get that right to do that in many ways, in parks, in the convention center. And we wanted to afford you that opportunity to help the nonprofits and charity organizations that you support. So that language is really geared mainly toward that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then I'm assuming that they would have to be 501c3 nonprofits, kind of similar to our other sponsorships that we've done. And then I don't know if anybody on here can answer this, and this never is clear. Do we have separate sponsorships for separate locations? Like, do we have one for the convention center, one for the plaza, so it's just one overall, choose a location?
You get one per year.
Okay.
So you can't do the convention center and the Marty Sanchez.
Bummer. That's all over the place. All right.
And
okay.
by the way, you Counselor, when you waive your fees, we actually have to create a memo that goes to the city manager. So actually the judgment is upon you and the city manager. And so if there was a conflict, we would discuss it. But to date, we haven't had any major conflicts.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
And we have Director Randall also wanting to weigh in here. If that's okay, Councilor Cassett.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Councilor Cassett. I just wanted to clarify that each counselor has the option to sponsor a day's use of the convention center without regard to any other sponsorships being discussed here. So I don't know how other sponsorships work, but I just wanted to clarify that each counselor does have the opportunity to specify a nonprofit use of the convention center and parking at the convention center one day each year.
Okay.
And in listening to this, I think the golf course is going to need a process similar to what we have or developed on its own, but it needs a process as to how these 10 nonprofit sponsorships are divvied up, whether it's one per counselor and one for the mayor, or two for the mayor and one per counselor, or whatever. But I think it's going to need a system as opposed to it just being as loose as it sounds right now.
Okay, so that's good to know that there is some potential work there for us to continue to figure out. And I do really appreciate that. And, I'm really glad that we have this option available. I know golf tournaments are a fun and often lucrative fundraiser for some of our really important groups in the community. So thank you for paying attention to that and to make sure that that is still available. And sounds like we'll potentially be having to have a few more conversations. I know among the governing body, we've had some confusion over if we use a convention center, does that mean we also, can't sponsor something on the plaza? So it sounds like we amongst ourselves need to figure out how these things are operating and within which buckets and what the processes are for different locations. So thank you for that, and to be continued on this conversation. And I do not think I have any further questions right now. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great, and I believe Councilor Lindell, you flagged some questions.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you all for being here. Let's talk about the finances of this contract. How is the contract? Well, give us an overview of what the costs are and what the benefits are, because costs aren't small. And what's the do we have a projection of when we will be at a break even with this contract?
Thank you, Councilor Lindell. The financial side was a piece that we looked at very carefully and wanted to make sure that it was going to move us in the right direction financially. And with this contract, the projections by Troon are that this golf course will be solvent by the end of the 4-year contract, which is was very exciting for me when I saw it first in the proposal. And that has never been the case in the 25 years that the golf course has been open. So I think that is very strong piece of the contract, that we would be solvent by year 4.
Does anybody here know what the remainder is on the bond for the golf course? That sounds like a no.
Counselor, I don't. I'm sorry. We can look
Okay.
that up for you.
Yeah, if maybe you could get that and get that information to me, that probably the rest of the finance committee also. I think that it's important that we know that. So in the contract, is Troon obligated to offer club sales, clothing sales? What are their obligations for marketing this course? And as well as, what they offer in the clubhouse?
Yeah, so the operations, just to clarify, Chairperson Romero Worth may have said this previous, but we're using the word Troon, and the Indigo Sports is a part of the Troon family of companies. That's why we're using the Troon. Troon is the larger umbrella where Indigo Sports is a subsidiary of that. So I just wanted to clarify for those listening. So yes, they will be running the golf shop and taking care of all of the retail. They will be running the restaurant, taking care of all of the retail, and then they will also be doing all of the marketing, external marketing for the golf shop, including website and all of those pieces as well. And they're incentivized to do all of these things and do them well because their incentive bonus is based upon that.
Can you speak to what the incentive bonus is?
Yeah, so it's an improvement on the bottom line profits year over year, up to a percentage of their total management fee for the year.
So what's the total management fee for the first year?
It is $8,000 per month for 12 months.
Okay, so $96,000 for 12 months is their management fee. And what's the max? And does the bonus kick in just for an increase, no matter how big or how small that increase is?
The bonus kicks in as a percentage of the increase. And so to the extent that they improve the business environment, the financial environment, the golf course, they will receive a percentage of that, but it's capped at a fairly minimal rate in my view. Melissa, do you remember the cap for that incentive bonus?
I believe it was 20,000, wasn't it?
That's what I had in my mind as well.
So they can get a 20% bonus by increasing how much?
So they will, I do not remember exactly. Melissa, again, can you help me there?
Well, I'm not sure that I can. I think that it was that we had to make that if they showed that they, kept that percentage in the, I'd have to look that up in the contract. I'm very sorry. Let me look it up while we go.
We can also perhaps look the answers to these questions up and provide to the council if it's going to take a bit. If that's all right with you, Councilor Lindell.
Yeah, I'm just trying to give us an opportunity to talk about some of these specifics so nobody acts like this was a big surprise or that oh, that's a problem in the future. It's not that I have any problem with this. I'm supportive of it. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody has heard this so that we don't hear about it later.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Another point that I'll make is I think that once we have a new management on board, I would certainly ask that we have an opportunity to review with probably Ms. McDonald and Ms. Wheeler and Mr. Weiss, the rate structure that we currently adhere to. I'll make the point and say it out loud now. All residents of New Mexico play at a discounted rate on our course. And the truth is that the city of Santa Fe is who owns that course and absorbs the costs, not everyone in the entire state. So I'll be wanting to have a discussion about that in the very near future.
So Council Lindell, on page 9 of the contract, I found the incentive management fee.
I don't have it pulled up in front of me. I've got
Yeah,
this.
I mean, I don't know, I can read it or I can have, Director McDonald read it, and it doesn't really, it talks in percentages.
Is it short?
There's an annual, it's letter F, an annual incentive management fee equal to 10% of the net operating income in excess of the prior fiscal year's net operating income. In no event shall the incentive management fee exceed 20% of the base management fee for any applicable fiscal year. The incentive management fee shall be prorated for any partial fiscal year. The incentive fee, if any, shall be paid within 30 days following the city's receipt of the annual financial statement for the applicable fiscal year. The incentive management fee shall be computed separately for each fiscal year or portion thereof.
So is that saying that if they do $10 more worth of business, 1 year over the other, they get a 10% bonus?
That is correct.
Madam Chair, they get 10% of that $10, so they'd get a $1 bonus.
That's my point. Thank you for clarifying that, because I think it's important that everybody understand that it's not 9,600. I think that's all I have, Chair. I'm hugely supportive of this. I think that we have a tremendous opportunity to market this course, and I am anxious for us to have marketing packages that are promote Santa Fe, where we have a play and stay package with local hotels. And I think that we have all the potential for that golf course to live up to what it's designed as and what it can be. It's a terrific golf course. It's just such a great city asset. And I think we have an opportunity right now to treat city residents as the owners of that golf course, and to also see growth and economic development because of it. So that's all that I've got. And thank you very much for indulging me on that.
Thank you, Councilor Lindell. Now I'll go to our two guests who will soon be committee members. If you have any questions, Councilor Faulkner or Councilor Lee Garcia, happy to take your questions if you have any.
I'm just curious, is community outreach part of like the incentive? I didn't get access to the packet for this hearing. So what kind of enforcement does the contract have to make sure that the consultant is reaching out to the community, is actively pursuing community members and increasing community membership?
So as a public golf course, we don't have a membership per se.
Mm-hmm.
We have patrons who pay per play. So every time they come out, they will play Mr. Randall, I believe I cut you off there. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'll follow you.
That's all I wanted to just touch on the membership comment. So feel free to continue.
Thank you.
So strike.
Madam Chair, Counselor, and by the way, congratulations.
Thank you.
The only way they can really earn incentive is by increasing the volume of play on the course. And it runs 60 to 65% capacity, I think, somewhere in that range. So there's room for its growth, and its growth the low-hanging fruit on the growth is from our residents. And the other growth is obviously from our visitors to the city. So, but they aren't going to be able to achieve their financial goals, and they're not going to be able to achieve any incentive compensation without fully engaging with the residents of Santa Fe.
Director McDonald, do you want to add on that?
Yes, thank you, Councilor Romero Worth and Councilor Faulkner. Again, congratulations. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to see you here. I think you might also be wondering about community engagement just in general. And we will still maintain the advisory board, the golf course advisory board, and a golf course manager that will be responsible for managing that board. So the operator will be responsible to come to that meeting and report on how they're doing outreach, what kind of involvement they have on the community. So there will be that direct community input still. And I think that might have been where you're going with it. So I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, thank you. That is what I was trying to get to, is that we want to, I mean, just because it's in writing in a contract, if we aren't tracking it and we aren't paying attention to it, then how enforceable is it really at the end of the day? So thank you.
Other questions, Councilor Faulkner?
Nope, that's it. Thank you, Chair.
All right, Councilor Lee Garcia. And Director McDonald, will you take your hand down just so I don't get confused?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just kind of also want to, I'm intrigued to see how this can increase the amount of output or amount of income that we can achieve at this city course. I would really love to make sure that obviously city residents have a priority because it is our city golf course, and I think that you know, we can only enjoy it if it's managed well and properly. And I think that comes with a lot of responsibility on the part of whoever is managing the overall golf course. I just, you know, going through a few parts of the contract and just spin off on a few of the questions that have been asked. How many charitable golf tournaments are being utilized or are being done a year currently? Do we know that number?
Yes, sir. Chairman Garcia, I believe in the last year we had 11. This last from January to December, I believe we had 11.
And so that I think we're looking at possibly capping it off at 10.
That's a minimum.
That's
It's
a minimum.
at least 10. Yes, sir.
So we would still have open for other, you know, given that they're scheduled and have the opportunity to fulfill the needs for organizations that are from, you know, within the city that want to utilize this asset, whether they are sponsored by, because I don't believe they all have to be sponsored by a counselor. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, they don't all have to be sponsored by a counselor. They do have to be a 501c3.
Correct. Thank you. And so, yeah, I would just, again, obviously giving priority in a sense to the organizations who are directly who directly impact and give a benefit to our community in the city. I don't know if this question, I guess this question would be for staff in regards to, I know we're evaluating this contract. How many RFPs or how do we go out for bid for the contractors for this? I guess Ms. McDonald or Ms. Wheeler?
Thank you so much. Councilor Garcia, sorry. Actually, Golf Course Manager Weiss was the RFP manager for this. We really needed to go out to RFP because in June of this year, our previous service provider lost their insurance and actually withdrew from the golf course, leaving us with no services in the pro shop, no beverage services, no food services, no pro shop services. So luckily enough, our golf course manager moved fast, engaged temps, kept the pro shop and the golf course going. And he was working on the RFP at the time. We did get 3 really solid proposals from really solid companies to provide these services. Troon was the lowest management fee proposer, and they also were the one that could really pick up the whole package of services that we needed for the best price. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Here again, I like the 4-year projection. In regards to the current income of the course, are we basing what our potential is for the future based on history, or what we perceive is going to be our potential for over the next 4 years to get to our break-even point?
So Troon received the last 5 years of income statements for the golf course. They analyzed them and then made several trips out to our location, and they use their expertise. They run more than 800 golf courses throughout the world, and they put together their projections based on the historical numbers we gave them, the site visits, and then compared our location to other similar locations and came up with their numbers.
Okay, so they were they utilized historical data to kind of make their projections. Okay, thank you very much. I think that's most of my questions. I know I don't have a vote on this tonight, but I would emphasize the fact that keeping our local Santa Feans in priority, and not only them, but our organizations who utilize this course. I love playing the course. It's amazing. Making sure that I know costs continue to increase, and I think that many times people come to our course because it is reasonably priced. And yet we also have to manage that with providing a really great golf course, which it is. It's beautiful. So I think those are my comments and my questions, and I appreciate the opportunity to ask them tonight, and I'll yield the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. All right, with that, I think we've had a good conversation here, helping the community to understand some of the pieces of this contract and the thoughtfulness that has gone into making sure that it aligns with the community's values. And, I think it's an exciting opportunity to take this golf course to the next level and make it even more special than it already is. So really appreciate the work that's gone into that. And I guess I just have one other quick question, which is this contract will not affect the name of the golf course, correct? We'll continue to call it by its current name, and Troon does not, and by signing this contract, we're not doing anything to the name.
That is correct. The name will stay exactly as it is.
Okay, terrific. And that's exciting as well, I think, to elevate this course with the legacy in the name and, take it to a wider audience potentially. So that's very exciting. All right, do we have a motion from the committee?
Move to
Move to
approve.
approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call, Director Oster, please?
Certainly, Madam Chair. And I had Counselor Lindell with the motion and Counselor Cassett with the second. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. Counselor Cassett,
Yes.
Counselor Lindell,
Yes.
Counselor Romero Worth.
Yes.
Great, motion passes.
Great. And this contract was also approved by Public Works, Public Utilities last week, I believe. Its next stop is governing body on Wednesday night. So that's kind of its path. All right, we do not have any action items tonight. We do not have an executive session. So I'll go to matters from staff. And actually, before I do that, thank you, Director McDonald, Wheeler, Weiss, and Director Randall for being here tonight. Really appreciate it. All right, with that, matters from staff. Director Oster.
Thank you, Chair Romero Worth. I wanted to provide an update on where we're at with the fiscal agent agreement with North Central Economic Development District that was approved by the governing body in December. That is for 5 capital outlay appropriations that were made in 2021. As I mentioned, that agreement was approved by the governing body at the December 13th meeting, and it is now in place. We have received the grant agreements from the New Mexico Department of Finance and Administration, and we're working on those. I'm working with Director Wheeler and the team in Public Works to prepare those to begin the committee review process on the 22nd in Public Works. So wanted to give you a heads up that those are in the pipeline, coming to you at the next council committee review cycle, and then going to governing body on the 31st of January. I also wanted to provide an update on recruitment in the finance department. I am excited to say that our accounting officer, whose name is Matthew Bonifer, started with the city today. It's kind of an odd first day with the closure, but we look forward to hitting the ground running tomorrow, and we will have him attend the committee meeting on the 29th, so you all can meet him. He's excellent, and I'm delighted to welcome him to the team in that really critical position. The accounting officer has been vacant for just over a year, so really excited to get that position filled. Then we have a senior budget analyst. His name is Christopher Parker. He will be joining us on January 22nd, and with the budget season right around the corner, as we start looking forward to the preparation of the FY25 budget for the city, it'll be really, really great to have another person in the budget office. As you may be aware, we've been at 50% vacant since last June in the budget office, so it's very exciting to have a new analyst joining us just in time to help with the preparation of the FY25 budget. And then we also have a fiscal administrator joining us. We're hoping on January 22nd. We had a contingent offer accepted last week, so that will be very helpful in terms of the operations of the finance department. And of course, helping us continue to work down that vacancy rate. And that is those are my matters from staff for this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Great, thank you for those updates. From there, matters from the committee. From there, matters from the chair. Our next meeting is Monday, January 29th. Welcome, look forward to welcoming Councilor Garcia and Councilor Faulkner as full-fledged members of this committee. We have a lot of work to do this year, and look forward to diving in and making that all happen. So with that, I believe we are adjourned. Stay safe out there, stay warm, and enjoy your evening. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Night. Thank you, everyone.